Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the 1 Point Safety Show, slightly delayed by 4 minutes, with myself, Scott Hartley, and my amazing co-host, Scouse Andy. How are you, bud? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are things with yourself, man?
All good? Yeah, all good, my end. Yeah, not too bad at all, mate, not too bad.
Nice.
Tired this week. It's been one of them weeks where it's just been dragging forever, but yeah, all good, all good. We'll start as always do, mate, with our sponsors. So Dunstable Town FC, Talk of the Town podcast, we're their sponsor this year. If you're into non-league football, go across and find them. You can find them on YouTube. Burrows is out there doing lots of good stuff with the media team, lots of interviews. So if you want to have a look at them, go and give them a shout. Also graciously sponsored by Oddballs. You can go to myoddballs.com. Go and have a look at the gear they've got on there. And if you want a picture of me and Scouse, you can buy them on your underpants. So yeah, go across and have a look at them. Also sponsored by Fusion Therapeutics, which is northwich-physio.co.uk. They provide expert MSK assessments and treatment with a focus on holistic care. They're dedicated to improve your well-being through tailored musculoskeletal health plans. The team offer specialist injection therapy and non-medical independent prescribing. So if you're in the Northwest, Manchester or Cheshire area, give the team a call on 01606 512 013, or you can book online and the team will be happy to advise you further on this affordable treatment solution. Also go across to bleedingburgundy.com, write in if you're into the writing side of understanding what the Commanders are up to. Lots of guest writers on there, so go and check that out. That'd be much appreciated to do that. We'll get into the news then, mate, as we start, as always. And there's loads of news for some reason that's come out this last couple of days, especially since we last podded. So it's well worth going through this. So joint practice was cancelled with the Ravens today. So I'll read the statement. It says Washington Commanders and Baltimore Ravens even will not hold their planned joint NFL practice next week, with both teams citing schedule conflicts as the strain on the short turnaround between games. Commanders head coach Dan Quinn explained that the decision came from conversations with the Ravens head coach John Harbaugh. Sometimes schedules just don't sync up. Quinn said, I visited with John last night and we're bummed. We've had a lot of time to respect them for that. We're looking forward to it, but we've got to see them in a couple of days anyway. The teams are set to meet on August the 23rd at Northwest Stadium in a pre-season finale. Ravens will be coming off a Saturday night game against the Dallas Cowboys, while Washington host the Cincinnati Bengals this Monday. Only left one practice day before the scheduled joint session. Ravens released a statement saying it was by mutual decision, recognising logistical challenges with the teams. Thoughts on that?
Well, it sounds like a lot of amateur hour, to be honest. I mean, surely to God, there's got to be some guy who could look at the schedule and go, yeah, there might be a bit of a problem here. You know what I mean? Rather than waiting halfway through pre-season to get this done. Like, come on. Is it because Terry's not there? Is everything dropped? The work ethic's dropped. That's how shit we were last game. And then and now you got guys who can't fucking do normal standard scheduling. You know, what is going on, bros? Like, what? Seriously, get a grip, whoever it is, man. Whoever has made that mistake, sort it out.
I think it's actually come from the Ravens, to be fair, rather than us. So
yeah, but the thing is, I mean, don't agree to a joint practice because obviously you find out. Okay, there's the schedule. They're the preseason games. Yeah. Do it then. Same day you go, well, actually, no, that's not going to work for us.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I understand. I said it is a nothing burger, Scott G. You're right. It's just getting another.
It's just a little thing that just kind of goes, well, why can't you sort that shit out? Like, it's basics. It's not fucking difficult. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it, but you know, here's what it is. Let's say it's a nothing burger in general, but it's still like, who's making those errors? This doesn't look like Dan Quinn always says about detail, attention to detail, focus on the details. Well, no one's focused on that detail, did they? So, you know, it's a bit. I'm not impressed. I must say, it doesn't really bother me personally, but just a bit annoying, to be fair.
Yeah, maybe. Rod, thank you for being with us as well. We appreciate that. And Scott G. What do I think? I'm not really bothered. Either way, don't really care. It's only joint practice, isn't it? Yeah. But I understand. I understand where you're coming from. It's not as if pre-season can get flexed, is it? You know what I mean? It's like,
okay, but, yeah, that doesn't work. Let's sort it out, or completely cancel it. I mean, I say it's a nothing thing, but it's just something that, like, who's not? Is this a kind of what's we're looking for? Like something like, because we're not being actually at the level that we should be detail-wise. It's just some just letting that slide. You know what I mean? Like, don't being held accountable for those little things, but especially getting a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, I agree. I understand where you're coming from. We'll get into the next bit of news then, which is roster moves, and there's been plenty of roster moves. Some of these mean nothing. Some of them obviously can look like they're good moves, but we'll get into them. So, Washington Commanders signed cornerback Esseng Bassi, linebacker Duke Riley, great name, and cornerback Antonio Hamilton Sr. to the active roster. In the corresponding moves, they released defensive end Villamay Fahoko Jr., cornerback Alan George, and linebacker Dominic Hampton, which we'll get into a bit more. Also placed tackle Lucas Niang, who only signed like 10 days prior, and cornerback Kelvin Seymour on the injured reserve. Niang's done his ACL, out for the entire season. Not ideal. So Bassi was an undrafted free agent out of Wake Forest. He played 43 games with 5 starts, originally being signed by the Denver Broncos, spent time with LA Chargers. In his career, he's recorded 60 tackles and broke up 7 pass breakups, and he's got 1 interception. So he started as well, which is an interesting, you know what I mean, he's an interesting depth piece. Riley was a 3rd-round pick with the Atlanta Falcons in 2017 when Dan Quinn was the head coach. LSU Tiger, he played 124 games with 36 starts over the course of his career, which includes stints with Miami and Philly. He's recorded 283 tackles, 2 sacks, 6 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, and an INT. Hamilton spent 24 with the Falcons, 9-year vet who started his career as an undrafted free agent with the Raiders. He's got 179 tackles, 2 interceptions, 25 pass breakups, and he appeared in 109 games with 18 starts in his career, 5 for 5 different teams, including the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Chiefs. Any thoughts on them 3 before we get into the rest of the more recent ones, or did you see these all as depth pieces? I think Duke Riley for me might be a good signing. You know what I mean? There's a bit of cover there at linebacker, which we'll get into Dominic Hampton in a second. I mean, what are your thoughts on any of them signings?
I think I agree with yourself there. I think Riley's probably the better one out of the 3, and it's kind of I'd say a position of need still, linebacker. You know, from what we saw. I understand the 2nd and 3rd stringers that we saw in the season game, but yeah, it's definitely a structural Hampton. We'll just have a go with it. We'll go for him. We'll talk more about him in a bit. But
yeah, we will do. Yeah,
I mean, I just experience. Those guys have experience. They've been around the league. They've been with a few teams. Some of them are like, say, 7-8-year vets. You know, so they've been around. They know what they're doing. So, am I expecting miracles from these guys, or even real play time? Probably not. But we'll see how it goes. But, yeah,
exactly. We also signed wide receiver today, River Craycraft, and released Michael Strachan. Obviously, yeah, he had a really poor preseason game, but we'll get into him as well. Craycraft was an undrafted free agent from Washington State, 53 games, 2 starts. He was with the Denver Broncos. He also played for 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. He had 32 receptions on 46 targets for 374 yards and 3 TDs. Obviously, back end of the roster, depth piece to try and fight for that 7th wide receiver slot, I suppose, is kind of where River Craycraft comes into it. I remember him playing for the Dolphins. I think he actually scored a touchdown against us, if I remember rightly, when Sam Howell was playing. So it's like, okay. So I do remember the name of River Craycraft because it's quite a unique name. So yeah. Camp body, hope he does well, and you never know, he could be a good depth piece for this wide receiving core. The last signing that we got today was veteran safety, but also has played corner for a lot of his career in Darryl Worley. Worley was a former 3rd-round pick by the Panthers in 2016. He's had 99 games with 64 starts. Spent last season with the Titans. Also played for the Raiders, Cowboys, Bills, Lions, and Ravens. So again, he's been out a bit. Also recorded 344 tackles, 6 interceptions, and 42 pass breakups in a 9-year professional career. Now that to me looks like someone who can come in and do a job as a depth piece. I think that's a good signing, especially with the time that he's been in the league, the amount of games that he started. You don't start in the National Football League if you're shit. Unless you have to, do you know what I mean? But realistically, we're always splitting hairs, aren't we? These are the tip of the spear, the elite of the elite scouts, and we're going, yeah, camp body, rubbish, get rid. But, you know,
but there's levels.
There's levels. I get what you mean, yeah.
That's the thing. These are the elite of the league, but then you got to compare, unfortunately, these guys against the best receivers or against the best quarterbacks. So do you know what I mean? So even though they are the best, there's still levels, mate. And but yeah, I mean, I say he might be fine. I hope. To be fair, I hope I don't see him on the field. If it is, that means he got hurt. You know what I mean? So which I don't want our guys being hurt. So,
but I think he's got a good chance of making the 53. I really do, especially with at safety. You know what I mean? So, which is a position that we probably didn't have the greatest depth in that position, really. I mean, we've got Will Harris, Percy Butler, Tyler Owens, who else? Oh, Quan, obviously. And then I'm struggling behind that. Jeremy Reeves. Yeah. That's about it, isn't it? There's not much good depth, especially when you look at, like, in respect of you look at our corner room now. You would say last year horrendous. Now you look at it this year and you go, well, actually, Noah Iyer, who was starting games for us, is now cornerback 5. Is that, okay? So
made some big moves at corner, definitely, over the off season. So
I think safety. You could have done something more at safety there. Do you know what I mean? So bringing this guy in, you never know. He's got a shot. He's got a shot, hasn't he?
Well, yeah. I mean, it all depends how good Will Harris is. I mean, I think he's played pretty good for the previous team. Was it Pittsburgh he played for?
He was at the Saints, wasn't he? Last
Saints. Yeah, I just remember the team in black. Yeah. So I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll be the starter. He'll be fine. But I say, if he doesn't suit the system or he doesn't play that well, then yeah, now you've got a natural guy you can go in who, as you say, has had some experience. A natural vet rather than an unproven guy, maybe potential rookie or even Owens, who's only been around a year, who has obviously had the problems with injury. So yeah. So it makes a lot of sense at this moment.
One of them signings that really interested me, which people probably will have glossed over, and I was the same. I went, oh, who's this? Is that guy Bassi, Essang Bassi, who's a corner. And obviously, we know what's happened with Carlin Viggers. We know that he's been bigged up a lot, and obviously he didn't have the best game in the preseason game. But he's despite having a good camp, this guy Bassi, when you look at, I mean, I know RAS score isn't everything, but when you look at his RAS score and his statistics and his measurables, they were pretty much exactly the same as Mikey Sambrastill's, which for me goes, oh, okay, what have we got here? Jonathan Jones has got a little bit of an injury, so we don't really know what's happening with Jonathan Jones. So again, it's one of them players that you can bring in who's got league experience and may make the 53. We don't know, but it's going to be a bit of a push.
There's a lot of variables. Let's face it. You mentioned, there's height, speed and weight, and everything else. But then there's also football IQ, being able to diagnose players as they go along, or even before they snap. So that's why Barry Wagner's so good, because he diagnoses these things before the ball's even snapped. That's the kind of levels that we're looking at. And then obviously you've got scheme fit as well, and what they're asking them to do actually within that play and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So there's loads of different variables of why someone's really good in one system or one team compared to another team. But yeah, I say, they're all new guys. Give them a shot. Always give them a fair shot and see what they're about. And I want us to be better at every position. So if any of these guys have upgrades on any of the guys we've already got, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same with you. I completely agree with everything you've just said then. You just got to give these guys a chance because you've got to build a 53. That's the point, isn't it? I mean, while we're at 90 man and we can have this in camp, why not bring them in? Because you don't know what you've got there. It might be one of these players who obviously they've been around the league a bit, so can you stash them on practice squads, that sort of thing? Yeah, there's ways and means of making a roster, and I wish these guys well, and we'll see how we get on. Next bit of news is obviously the Terry McLaurin contract impasse. Negotiations for a contract extension have stalled. He's entering obviously his final year, as we know. It's basically the key factors here are that the team's reliance on analytics shows that there's a decline in receiver performance around the age that McLaurin is going to be when the extension would take place. Some good things we've seen is Terry obviously in a hoodie on the sideline. We've seen that obviously go moving forward. You know, he was talking to AP. Whether that's a good thing, whether that's a bad thing, who knows? The other thing is his agent wasn't there, which is great. You know what I mean? Not seeing his agent around, next to his hip every 2 seconds, almost like Terry's walking his dog, wasn't it? It was ridiculous. You know, he's constantly there. The other thing as well is I've heard various rumours. Now, whether these are just rumours, so you've got to take them with a pinch of salt, to say that it's basically the deal is done and that he's going to be signed before the Bengals game, probably this weekend. We'll wait and see what happens with that. There's been talks, and apparently he's come down, and the deal's going to be around 28 mil a year, which is kind of where we both said last week. That's got to be where both teams end up at. I mean, yes, it's become a saga and it's become a distraction this offseason, no doubt about it. I'm all for Terry getting his bag, I am, but at the same time, I'm all for having a competent GM who understands the machinations of a salary cap and understands if you overpay this time, the next person down the line would expect you to overpay. And we are not in a position where we have an owner that's meddling into that. And one good thing that I saw that Rio Robinson had on his podcast recently was, I can't remember the chap's name, but he basically said that Jaden has been throwing to Terry in the bubble, which people haven't been aware of. So every day after practice, he's been sitting with Terry throwing. So the chemistry around, will he lose the chemistry with Terry? It's going to be there, man. So this whole ankle injury being on the pup is, we all know it's bullshit, but you've got to do what you've got to do to try and get your money. You know what I mean? I get it. I get it completely. Where are you on the scale then, Scouse? Are you a absolute boiling point, get this done right now? I mean...
Yeah, as I think, as you mentioned there, you just said hit the nail on the head. You know, it's been a distraction. And I think players, even through the grapevine, the guys aren't the same intensity as they were last off season. Now, what is that like? Because it's the same coaches. What's the difference there? Is Terry leading by the example? And because he's not there, they're going, well, they're treating us one of the studs like that. What are they going to do to me? Then when it's my turn for my one, and maybe they're dropping by 5% on practice. You know, it's subconscious sometimes. Players don't even think it sometimes. Other times you do, obviously, but I just think like it is just literally being a saga from day one. I get it, but I get it from the player's point, I get it from the GM's point. It's just a case of how much do you really want him there, setting the tone, because that's what he does. He sets the tone for the whole team, not just he's a good receiver, he does this. He sets the tone for everybody. So having that guy on the field is much more important than having him sitting on the sidelines talking to EP. Yeah. And you know, we've heard so many drops in practice, in training camp, and then that also spilled over to the preseason game. You know, how many guys, even back quarterbacks are throwing the ball on the numbers, and these guys are dropping the ball. You know, so does that tell you what? Too good? No, not at all. Far from it. Yeah, these guys are just bad. These guys aren't at the level that you need. And if without a Terry in there setting that tone, it's a bad one. So for me, just get it in there, man. Just get it signed. Get it signed now. And I say, like you mentioned last week, I think 28 is probably about the right amount for him.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that.
After working it down, after working through that, you know, there's the potential of, even though they wouldn't, but they could tag him twice if they wanted to, so you still get 3 years out of him, at his potential, his best years. And the max is going to be like a 29.5 overall if he did that. So 28 guaranteed, so like 60 or something like that over the 3-year extension, or whatever it is, with the out after 2, would probably be the right way of going about it. And I think as long as Terry's willing to come down to around that kind of level of 28 mil, then you'll start seeing things move very quickly. But until then, you just don't know. You just don't know until he signs that paper. Do you know what I mean? So
I know. We're all anticipating it, aren't we? But there you go. Deluxe is right with what he's saying here. Raz is a measurement. Megatron got a perfect Raz score. Who he would be without it. Samus Rare's got a 10 as well, but didn't didn't have the tape to go with this athleticism. And Scott G again, he's saying here Raz may mean that they're an athletic freak, but when it comes to being able to play, it's an overrated measurement. Yeah,
exactly. They are physical freaks. They are, the fastest in his position, the tallest in their position, the whatever. They are athletic freaks. But as I say, it's more important to have this as well. It's the football IQ and being able to diagnose plays as they come along or just before the snap. That's where the good become the elite. You know what I mean? Or as I say, Megatron. Yeah, Megatron 6'4", absolute freak wide receiver, great hands. Hall of Famer. Samus Reyes, yeah, absolute shit. Terrell Owens, we don't know what you're going to get because it wasn't over 10.
It was a 10.
Owens a 10 as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. So was Jeremy Chin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Chin's decent. He's good. I wouldn't say he was a lead, but he is a good safety. But that to say, it doesn't always mean that just because you're an athletic freak in that position of wherever you play, it doesn't mean that you're going to be first ballot Hall of Famer. You could end up being absolute trash like Samus Reyes was. So
Samus Reyes, there's the name. Yeah. I can't believe you brought that up. Deluxe, fair play to you, man. That was like wow. Yeah, we'll bring him in. Yeah. Raz can help identify a ceiling, not much help with determining the floor. Correct. And Rod says, locker room leadership is crucial. He's the player to link the front office, so yeah, it does have a knock-on effect. Yeah, I understand that. We know it in all sport. If you've got not necessarily one bad apple, but if you want someone who either wants out or wants more money, wants a new contract, it does have a knock-on effect subconsciously because that player is either not there or that player is there, isn't participating. Other teammates then start getting sick of it, going, well, why is he not doing this? And I'm grinding my arse off.
50%. Exactly, he's only giving 50%. He's doing a half-assed because, okay, I'm still turning up. I'm still going to get my bread for today's workout, blah, 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 even though I'm going to do it at 50%. Doesn't stipulate anything else, in the contracts. Yeah, you showed up, you put your cleats on, and you had to run around. All right, yes. So that ticks the boxes. If I piss the coaches off, but that ticks the boxes, to see what I mean. So it's kind of from a player's point of view, obviously the Americans who listen and probably won't understand the kind of next thing is about kind of the situation with a player at Newcastle United, a soccer player called Alexander Isak, and he's basically done exactly the same thing as Terry. He just held out. He said, "I'm not playing for you until I get a new deal." Now, difference was that our guy Isak got actually given false promises. We're going to give you this contract, and they never did. Over all of last year, so you don't go for F years. I'm going. So and now he won't play, even though he's still contracted for another 3 years. There, he says I won't play forever again. You better trade me, or we have to buy them as players. But trade me now. I'm not playing forever again. So you burnt your bridge. You know what I mean? You lied to me. Blah blah blah. Now Terry could be in the same situation. They could have offered him, or potentially have offered. We'll give you the contract you want. We want to keep you forever. You know what I mean? All those promises. And all of a sudden, it's like, well, I think I'm worth this. Oh shit! I don't want to. Don't want to pay you at 35 a year. I like it, but not that much. And then it becomes a problem, then, doesn't it? It's like, well, am I your main guy? Am I your wide receiver? Am I your main guy, or am I not? And it can be very, very fickle. Things move very fast at times as well.
Agreed, mate. Agreed. One thing we didn't mention, we had an inter-team scrimmage and practice, fully padded, full tackling between the Burgundies and the Golds. The Golds won out the day 14-0. It was first team offense on the Burgundy against first team defense on the Gold, and vice versa. And then it went seconds against seconds. Is the way they worked it.
And the Golds won.
Golds won. Defense won. Yeah. Absolutely strung it out. They were very, very good.
That's not great, JD. Go on, mate. Going on.
Well, JD had his worst day in practice in this scrimmage, by all accounts. Mikey Samra still with a couple of pass breakups from what I've seen and heard. Javon Kinlaw was a demon, is what they were saying. He is come in a good 20 pounds lighter than what he was, and he is looking strong. Deron Payne got a technical sack because obviously, even though it wasn't a full "I'm going to batter Jaden," the whistle was blown and he basically gave him a hug and was like, yeah. But as the whistle was blowing, it was right. That is classed as a sack. You know what I mean?
Protect the merchandise. Don't hit him.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Deron Payne up the middle with a sack. You're thinking to yourself, wow. And JD5 is not a bust. No, absolutely not. Scott G, what are you talking about?
This is Scott G. This is the type of question Scott G gives us. Just craziness. Absolute craziness.
But yeah, it was a bad day, a bad morning, and a bad day. But what was more interesting was if you're going up against this offense, which was a top 10 offense, okay, minus Terry, we understand that, and Jaden is as good as he says as good as he says on the tin, and obviously an upgraded offensive line. What is that saying for this defense that we've got coming in? Because I'm quite encouraged by that. You know what I mean? If the first teamers are playing, which is a good thing.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. My only concern is everyone says, and you read on social media regularly, JD5 can elevate shit players just like Zacchaeus, for example, last year. And I think I've heard that a few times from people on social media. And I'm thinking, for about 3 or 4 plays. See what I mean? Like the differences of doing that for 18, 20 games that you're hoping that you're going to be playing for this season if you're going deep into the playoffs. It's different. It's different gravy. Like Terry wasn't there, as I mentioned before. Everybody else had to move up the spot. These guys aren't as good. The matchups don't work well. They don't work well. Debo up against the cornerback 1 doesn't work well. Same with all the other dudes. Brown up against cornerback 2. No, see what I mean? Like so these things. They're all. It's a big mismatch, basically. Everyone's up a level, and they shouldn't be there. So they're playing against the best, who are better players or potentially better players than them. So they can't get open. So what happens to JD? Well, I've got to run around like a madman, or I've got to find Zach Ertz, and that's basically all I've got. Well, then the defense just zones it under Zach Ertz, then don't they? So this is the thing, you see. So this is why you need to have a wide receiver 1. That just helps everything else settle where they should be. The players should go back in as part of the rotation of where they should be in the squads, and that's how it should be. That's why he's important. Unless you've got another wide receiver 1 that you can get away with,
he can whip out of somewhere. Man, I've got to bring this up, right? I've got to bring this up. I know it's silly season. I know we're in pre-season, but some of the rumours and trades and this and that and the next week, give it a break. Dude, we want people to subscribe to this show, right? Absolutely get that. And we want people to, like what the content that we're doing, that we're putting out. Yeah, we're only on once a week. But man, some of the clickbait and the people that are out there is just wild. Like, I've heard we're going to trade Terry McLaurin to Miami and Tyreek Hill's coming in and we're going to give him a third. I'm like, what? And then I've heard, but don't worry because we're going to get a 5th back for Brian Robinson, who's going to be traded.
People just make
screw your head on, man. What is going on? This is not fantasy GM time.
Exactly, Exactly, it isn't fancy football, is it?
I know. For those over in America who are listening to this, so and those in some of those in Europe who may not have played it, those in Britain probably will know. We play a game called Championship Manager or Football Manager, whichever it is, right? Where you are the GM, for want of a better term, and you've got to dial your squad in and all that sort of stuff. Look, I get it, but that's not what this is. That's not what this is. The best thing we can do right now is to sign Terry. That's it. End of story. Because there is nobody out there at the moment that you could physically trade for, or that anyone wants to get rid of, that's going to cost you less. As well, that's the other thing you've got to think about. What do you do? Darren, thank you for being with us, mate. Appreciate you being on. Terry is getting a new contract on Monday. We just talked about these rumours, so that's the hope. That's the hope. Yeah. Other news then, Scouse. Go on, mate.
No, I think you're right with some of the trades options have been crazy. Who says Miami want to get rid of Tyreek? Why would you want a 31-year-old compared to Terry at 29 at this moment? You know what I mean? Like, and also his wages are already over 30 mil anyway. Tyreek Hill.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to even try and trade for him, even if you thought, well, let's get rid of Terry and get in Hill. It just doesn't make sense. So it's like, no. And nobody else, as I say, really is going to trade their wide receiver 1 away for potential Terry or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're just not going to do it. And no one's going to pay him over 30 mil either. That's the other thing. I don't think nobody will pay that. So for me, it's kind of like, yeah, just get it done, man. Just get it done 28 and just call it quits.
Yeah, agreed. Offensive line concerns. Despite the efforts of improving the offensive line around QB Jaden Daniels, questions remain about the ability to protect him. Second-year lineman Brandon Coleman missing practice. Josh Connolly Jr. Working to be ready, obviously, for week 1. Laramie Tunsil did have a bit of an injury scare, but he returned to practice without any issue whatsoever. He's been practicing no problem. Rod brought in a question to us on this as well. He said, our rookies flashed against the Pats first and second. There's no coincidence that after a poor showing from the wide receivers, AP is now talking to Terry at practice. Two areas of...
I said that AP will be going, oh shit, like this receiver core it's not it without him in there. So yeah.
2 areas of concern for him, he said, are depth at centre, and then the availability of late round picks like McGee. What are your areas of concern? I mean, we'll answer that a little bit later on. We'll come back to that question, Rod. But yeah, his concern, obviously relating to the offensive line concerns, is the depth at centre. I mean, we were both watching the game. We were in chats and stuff. I think at one stage I was like, who the hell's playing at centre? Because obviously I saw Biadish didn't go, he wasn't playing. He was one of the 30 who didn't play. And then I looked on the camera and the camera panned round and there's friggin' Dieter sat on the side. I was like, who's at centre? I think it was Julian Good Jones.
Julian Bad Jones. That's what should be calling him. This is just bad, man. Like, it just is. Like, this is why it's a mad one, because you obviously want to try and compare yourself against better teams. Okay, now the Pats, I don't think are a better team than us.
No.
Okay, yes, our first team guys didn't play. So it was a nice little test to see our seconds up against their firsts. And Johnny Newton actually showed out. I thought he was our best player by a mile. I've got no qualms with him. It was a pass rush up the middle. I'm more than happy with him there. So, but besides that, it really was men against boys there. It really
absolutely.
Was.
And we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a second. But I mean, Jesse, shout out to you for being here. Darren, thanks for being with us. I mean, yeah, James Bell's following up saying JD5, you haven't missed anything, but now we're saying he's a bust. No one has said JD5 is a bust. No one has said that. Absolutely not. This is not Caleb Williams. This is not Caleb Williams. Oh, yeah. Dear.
It's just Scott Jesus. That's the kind of conversation.
Honestly, it's just crazy. Yeah. Last bit of news is that the jersey schedule was announced, in case anyone wants to know. We announced the jersey schedule for 2025, return of the gold pants and the battle black jerseys. We've also got the Super Bowl era uniforms 3 times this season. 8 games in the white uniforms.
I know the home game when we're there is going to be the white.
Always. I've only ever seen them playing burgundy once, which is just like fucking hell. You know what I mean? Come on, man. We're at home playing your home jersey.
The Giants who were playing blue. I mean, like, what's the?
Last year we played in burgundy, didn't we? So yeah. But I just think, why are we always playing in white? It's weird. I don't understand. Yeah, is this the 4th year? Is this the 4th time? Yeah, Arizona. Or is this? Yeah, this will be the 4th, won't it? That we've all gone together. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Who did we do? Arizona, Jags, Giants again. Yeah. So yeah, out of the 4, it's been 3 times in white uniforms. Ugh.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I don't understand it, because if you went to play in your home jersey and you're playing at home,
I don't get it.
You should have priority of wearing the red. That's what you're meant to be. That's what you're known as. You're not known as a white team. You're not Dallas. You're known as white. You know what I mean? You're known as red.
Creamsicles.
We do, Jesse. You say we don't have a home jersey, but we do have a home jersey, because they have the home jersey, they have the away jersey, and then they have the specials. the third alternate jersey, and then they have the Super Bowl one, like you mentioned, Scotty. So it's kind of like it says on the website when you try and buy a shirt, that's home. It says away on the white ones. It's just crazy, like it's craziness. But I can't wait I'm going to try and get myself one of those
new era ones, the Super Bowl era ones. Yeah, who are you going to go for?
I'm going to try and get myself Samba Stroll.
Ooh.
But yeah, put it on the Super Bowl one. So yeah, I think
I don't think they're out till.
No, there's a potential pre-order list or mailing list that you need to get on or something. So I'm on that list, and it's meant to be out in September sometime. But saying that it might actually be November before you actually receive your jersey, because that's the first game we're playing in. I think it's week 9, Seattle. I think using those Super Bowl jerseys, so that everyone would get theirs before or be available before that first game. So it might be November before you even see the jersey on someone.
James, I agree with you. I don't like the white jerseys either.
Yeah,
too much like the Cardinals uniforms. And
it's fine. It's just not. It's just not Washington in my mind. You know, especially home game.
I know. I don't understand.
That's the whole point.
They should have a set. That's what I mean. Yeah, we're not saying that you don't have a set jersey at home. That's fair enough. But you should have a set jersey, or else it wouldn't be classed as home or away when you buy a jersey.
Yeah,
I'm not going to. So, and maybe this is a sport thing and a difference of opinion on different side of sports. If I buy a Carlisle top, I want to buy the home jersey. I'll buy the home jersey. If I want to buy the away jersey, I'll buy the away jersey. If we're away from home,
you do it.
Yeah, if we're away from home, we'll wear the away jersey, unless it clashes. But 100% of the time at home, we will wear a home jersey. So, yeah. Oh, that's a Fanatics thing, is it? Okay, fair enough, Jesse. Fair enough. I did not know that there was no set home jersey, if you like. That's very interesting. Tell you're not a fan in the 80s and 90s. Yeah. We well, I know. I was a fan in the 90s. Well, no, actually 2012. But yeah, so yeah, a long time ago. But yeah, I know what you mean. 80s and 90s, we did wear obviously.
Because the NFL, not pump ball. Okay, yeah, cool.
Oh, all right, yeah, cool story, bro. Can we block him?
Yeah.
Nah, no.
This is
not what you mean.
Big ball. Wide.
Yeah, wide left, exactly. Yeah. So we'll review the Pats game, mate. We'll review the Pats game. What went well, and what went bad? Where do you want to start? Because what went well is going to be a very short list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Johnny Newton. I think that he's by far the standout performer.
Yeah.
But again, I was part-time fan that night because I turned it off at half-time.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it was 2:30 in the morning. And I was like, you know what? What's the point of me standing here for this shit? Because it was awful. It was men against boys for most of the game. You know, there was so many drops, the penalties was doing my fucking Sweden. I tell you that. So many penalties on the special teams. It was unreal.
Special teams were terrible. They were really bad.
It was like, what is this? It was like illegal blocks in the backs, holding all the time. It was like, come on, lads. Like, what he's doing. I think we had like 13 penalties.
13 penalties, yeah. 13 accepted penalties.
So 15, and they accepted 13 of them to their 2. Now again, for me, that goes on coaching as well. You got to blame coaching for that as well, not just players being shit.
You do, but at the same time, you've got. I mean, you can make it.
You teach them when to hold, when to let go. You know what I mean? Like what's going on? Like, it can't just be you're panic because it was a game and they want to show out all the time and try extra hard and make mistakes. Like that's too many. Like one here and there, all right, fine, but not like that. You shouldn't be getting 13 penalties in a game.
I'll tell you one thing.
What league doing? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you one thing I'll be perfectly honest with you. I am not bothered in the slightest about this. It's pre-season. Couldn't give two shits.
Really, but the thing is, though, is that you want to put some analysis to it, though.
Oh, absolutely. I know what you mean by that, but am I disappointed that they did that? Yeah, 30 players didn't play. That's the first starting point. 30 players didn't play. So would they have made a difference? Would they have made a difference than 30 players playing against the Pats' first team? Because that's what they were initially.
Don't forget the Pats were dog shit last season. Drake May was the only shining light on offense.
They're not that bad now. They've made some good signings.
What I'm trying to say is that, yes, it's a nice test to see our seconds up against their firsts. And Newton
we're
stood out.
Seconds.
But that tells me that Newton's ready to play against the big boys, whereas nobody else on that seconds are ready to play. You can tell they're not ready to play. They're not at the level required. So that tells me that everybody besides our real first-team start is an absolute load of shit. And that anyone could get caught, and we shouldn't be bothered, no matter who it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, of course, they're not going to put Drake May out there again with like the second string O-line, is he? They're going to protect them.
I think I'm going to have a hot take here. I think the Pats will be a playoff team this year. I think they'll be pretty decent.
Who's in their division?
I'm not too sure. Not 100% certain.
Who's in their division, guys? Because in the chat, because I can't remember who's in their division.
Neither can I.
But for me, it's kind of like, of course, they're going to be better than last season, but they weren't that good. Drake May is kind of light, and he looks legit. Like,
so it's the Bills, the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Jets.
Bills, okay, yeah. So already you've lost the division, okay. So
but it doesn't mean you can't be a wild card spot.
Who's the next one?
Jets.
Yeah, this shit. Next one.
Dolphins.
They'll be better than the Pats this year as well. So for me, it's kind of like they're not going to be third in their division and make playoffs.
No, I think they'll be second. I think the Dolphins are on the decline. I'll be honest with you.
Still, at this moment, still way better than the Pats. Now, let's say in a couple of years, yeah, I can see them being a lot better, maybe potential playoff team. But this season coming up, nah, I can't see it.
I'll have a pint on that one.
The Bills up 100% one, and Dolphins 2 for me.
Nah, Patriots 2. I'll have a pint. I'll have a pint on that.
Fucking nah. I'm not.
I'll have a pint on that with you.
All right. Okay.
Friendly bet.
Take that.
Tua. What else have you?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get that. I do get.
We will revisit it. We will revisit it, Scott G.
Who's the backup quarterback there now? Didn't he get somebody a vet?
Skylar Thompson.
Oh no,
yes, they did, and he's terrible. It's the old Dallas QB.
He's not shit.
He was the other day.
Who is it? Oh no, it's not.
It's Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers.
Oh no. All right. Well, that might change it a bit if Tua gets hurt again, which is highly likely. Highly likely, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm still.
Tua gets a concussion when he gets out of bed. I love that, Jesse. Oh, that's good. That's good. For me, the players who stood out, I thought, obviously Newton, as you suggested, very good. Trey Amos looked good.
We got
Bill. You know what I mean? He was good.
Okay.
Crosky Merritt.
A couple of nice plays. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Overall, yeah.
Well, it was
terrible. It was a drubbing. It was terrible.
It was poor, wasn't it? It was really poor. I mean, you can see 48 even against.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The Pats are okay. Yeah, they're the first team out for what? Probably. It was less
quarter
than
and a half.
Quarter was it more than a quarter?
Yeah.
For the first team.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, fair enough, but I thought it was.
It was the opening kickoff that got me. It was like, oh, stars, you mean to go on, boys? Yeah,
as soon as that happened, what happened after that? The next one was a hold. Next one was illegal block on the back. See what I mean? Like it was just like panic stations. It was a nice run. Like don't get me wrong, I do like that running back. Who was it? It wasn't Hampton, was it? It was the other.
Yeah, it was Hampton. It was Hampton.
Hampton.
Yeah, he was the one who ran it back. Yeah.
Or was it Henderson? Henderson, isn't
it? Might be.
He's
I think it's Marion Hampton.
Travion Henderson, I think. What could be wrong?
Oh, it's Travion Henderson. You're right. Yeah. Where did Marion Hampton go? I don't know.
Either way, yeah. He looks good. But we all knew he looked good, and we knew that he was going to be a good running back anyway. He just looked exactly what he should be.
He went to LA, Hampton. Okay. He went to the Chargers. He went to the Chargers. It was Henderson. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, it's my that's. It was, they both begin with a H, so we were nearly there. But yeah, man, it's one of them.
You used first play. Like, oh, thanks for that. Yeah, cheers. Matt Gay. Let's face it. You know, as I'm saying, special teams was awful, and there were stars. Well, as in the kicker, kicker, holder, snapper. I thought Matt Gay again. What's all that about? You paid this guy a lot of money.
Missed 6 out of 10 in
practice.
In practice, yeah.
What's that tell you? You can't make them in practice when there's no pressure on you. What are you going to do in the game when it comes to some guy trying to jump at you to try and stop the ball? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? What's going on with these guys? Why are we picking these guys on the downward trajectory? I don't get it,
I've no idea, but we probably need a kicker competition.
It's ridiculous though, because that guy is paid about $4 million guaranteed.
Yep, 4 and a bit now.
I think it's the highest ever for a 1-year deal on a kicker.
Definitely.
And again,
it is the highest.
Kicker, and what did we do? We let him go because of potential allegations, which we found false. And now he's at Green Bay, fucking laughing it up and with his shit.
Doing very well.
Yeah. Brandon McManus should have waited it out. I understand at the time, I understand the kind of the backlash in the media he might have had, but innocent to proven guilty, right? And he was proven innocent. So, it was definitely a drop the ball one that.
As Jesse says here, he's hit everyone since the game, and he did come back in that game and hit one. So
yeah, from like a chip shot, like 30 odd yards or whatever it was. I mean, that was a chip shot. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, I ain't hitting a 30-yard field goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've been paid $4 million.
No,
do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, no, you're saying.
What I'm trying to say, it's like he needs to be fucking money next game. He needs to, or the pressure is already on him.
Yeah, true.
I think it's harsh because it's pre-season, but it's like, man, you can't afford to miss these fucking chip shotters or within 40 yards. You can't afford to miss these anymore. I mean, look at the guy for you, for your missus team. Hit a 70-yarder.
70-yarder, Cam Little. Yeah, wow. I know. Yeah,
Cam Little.
Yeah,
pinged it.
Unbelievable.
And he's 21 years old. He's going to be around for a hell of a long time. Where's our guys coming out like that? Why aren't we? He's doing so. I know he was drafted. He was personally, but
sixth rounder.
6th round. But again, at this moment, I'd take a money kicker at the 6th round and some potential, like Hampton, who we just fucking got rid of after last season. He was our 6th rounder last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, there's levels to this. You know what I mean? And kickers, even though no one likes them, they're important, man. You got a good kicker, you're gonna have a good chance of going far because you're gonna put points on the board. You're a bad one. Doesn't matter how good JD5 is if he can't get in the end zone. And our kicker can miss his fucking 30 yarders all the time. That's not going to help us at all. You see what I mean?
Right.
So this is why for me, a kick is important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Points on the board, as you said many times.
That's what wins games. Yeah. That's what wins games at the end of the day, is points on the board.
What do you think about Hampton? Obviously, you watched the tape back, you watched the game.
Oh, he was bad.
He was all over the place.
He was bad, yeah. He was really bad.
He was all over the place.
Yeah.
And obviously, since then, immediately pretty much cut, which is... I mean, it's brutal, and it's brutal that you were a pick from last year, you were a 6th rounder.
That's how cutthroat the NFL is.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always pro player. Comes to big contracts like the Terrys and all the rest of it, I'm pro player on that because they can cut you anytime. You have one bad game, it was a really bad game, don't get me wrong, it was awful. But he got caught. It's his career potentially gone in one bad game. Aren't you allowing some guys to have bad games? See what I mean? So that's how cutthroat it really is. So yeah. Why shouldn't Terry hang out for his cash and get as much as he can? Make sure he doesn't get. You know what I mean? Because the team will always make money. The team will always make money. They're never going to see them in debt. You see what I mean? You're never going to see an NFL team in debt. So it's kind of a case of I'm pro player, man, when it comes to these contracts because of shit like that. They can cut you at any time. Anytime, doesn't matter. It's brutal. It's fucking ruthless.
It is a ruthless game in that respect. See ya. Yeah, on your
that game. Yeah, your tape was fucking horrible. Okay, it was, but yeah, you're not good enough. You're gone. That's it. You're not no redeemable qualities. You can't be coached out of that. That's it. You're done. That's how brutal it is. And when you are good and you are successful, you better get your bag, because otherwise, the team will just cut you or let you or trade you anytime they want anyway. So, pro player.
Let's discuss why. I was pro player. Yeah.
I'm pro player for contracts, not for quality, mate. This guy's got. This guy shouldn't be in the team.
Oh, I love it. Scott G, you can come again, my man. I love it. I love it.
Try to Jesse, how has he proved? How has he had over a year to prove he could play when he didn't play any games last year?
Because he was injured.
That's fucking different, though, isn't it? And training's different, isn't it? For me, it's like it's just some people are poor trainers but really good on the field. Actually in matches, other guys aren't. Anyone who's played sport knows that. There's guys like that out there. We don't really see him play. He's always a healthy scratch. Hampton we're talking about here. So
and he was injured as well for a bit.
But yeah, let's say this is the thing, man. He had to prove 1 year he could play. Well, really, mate. I mean, that's still just as brutal. And the thing is with Wiley is that I'm pro player for contracts, but I'm not pro player if they're poor on the field and their production's crap. I can't deal with that either. So I'm looking to trade these dudes.
Now you've become a couch GM. I love it. Right, we'll get into the preview then of the Bengals, who lost 34-27 against the Eagles. They played their entire first half. They were the starters. First play of the game for Joe Burrow was a touchdown directly to Jamar Chase, like they'd hit exactly where they'd left off. Big shot. I mean, yeah, there you go. What are your thoughts going into this game then, mate, against the Bengals? Just want to see better, obviously.
It just depends, doesn't it? It just depends on.
We're going to see our starters here.
Are we going to see our starters and how long for?
Yes, we are.
One drive? Is it going to be a whole half? Is it going to, you know what I mean? So you don't really know what you're going to get. And the thing is with the Bengals is now that their first team, as you mentioned, they chased to Burrow and all the rest of it, they might not even play this game because they've already played a bit. See what I mean? So again, it just depends on the matchups really on this. Again, I'm not bothered about the results. I just want to see some actual improvement, i.e., penalties,
tackling,
right down, tackling, balls that are actually thrown right to your fucking numbers on your chest. You catch the thing. You know what I mean? Like basics. That's all I'm after. I'm after seeing some good basics.
Oh, can we all just say as well before we move on to this Bengals preview that Sam Hartman is not the answer. My God.
I keep saying he'd be a better male model than he would be a footballer. You know what I mean?
He was horrible, wasn't he, in that game? But we'll wish him the best if he's going to play, because he'll have to play some of that game against the Bengals, I'm certain. How much he plays, I don't know. But yeah, you're right. We want to see tackling. We want to see better play. We want to see no penalties or lower amount of penalties.
Of course, you want. If their first team's against our second, you should expect them to make us look bad. But I just want to see guys like, at least recognise the plays, or you know what I mean, rather than just being really caught out like Hampton was caught out so many times. I want to see guys being able to actually read the game and go, okay, yeah, that was just a bit too good, but I knew it was there. I was just that far away. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I can deal with that. It's when you kind of like just getting abused, no matter what, and that's what was happening to us. So in the last game, yeah. Valid point as well. I was just going to know. Mariota, is he going to play this game? They say he's got a lower leg injury, haven't they? But they haven't really mentioned much more about it. It's a bit of a weird one, that, to be fair.
Yeah, strange that. It is, you're right. Obviously, yeah, it's going to be a mixed team again. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the dress rehearsal almost now, isn't it? They use pre-season game 2 mainly for starters. Pre-season 3 is for anyone who's really on the bubble since the 4th pre-season game's been shelved. Yeah. Again, it's pre-season.
Yeah, I say I'm not bothered about the score. I mean, it doesn't look nice when you see you're giving up 48. No, it doesn't feel nice at all. But it's not about the result. It's about the actual performance. Even if can you hang with these guys? Or, if you are playing against their ones, or can our threes handle their twos? Or do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And just to give you an evaluation of how strong your depth is in your squad.
Yeah.
And what we've seen in that first game was god awful, which means that we've got no depth at this moment. So now they've got another game to try and prove it again. To say no, that was just a one-off. That was just a bad day at the office. Okay, then. Well, let's show me again. Show me again in this game.
Yeah, exactly. I've got nothing more really to say on that. So we'll get into our fan questions. Back to Rod's question that we brought up earlier. Obviously, he said two areas of concern for him was the centre depth, which we talked about, and the availability of late round picks like McGee. What are your areas of concern?
Well, yeah,
I'm concerned about McGee. I mean, he's been bigged up by this coaching staff, no end, and we're just not seeing any availability on the field.
Yeah.
And as you said, it's cutthroat. Could he be the next one? You know what I mean? And then you're looking at this. I said it last week. Scott G was kicking off saying, "Oh no, if you've got 2 or 3 then that have turned into starters, then it's classed as a home run." I understand that, but at the same time, it's like, what is this depth? And that's kind of what we need to see. There's players on this team from that 2024 draft class who we really need to see what they've got. You know, Luke McCaffrey's, your Ben Sinnotts of the world. We need to see what they're.
He's my big one. He's my big one. He really needs to show me something, even if it isn't like, oh, he's as good as fucking the other guy at the Raiders. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't expect
Brock Bowers.
You know what I mean? I don't expect that. But what I expect is like an actual real improvement, and say this guy could be the guy. You know what I mean? Going forward, maybe not this season, but this will probably be it since last year. Let's face it, realistically, with us anyway, and then. It should be up to Sinnott then to step up and be the man. See what I mean? So I'm looking for that transition with him over the season, especially with second round pick. It comes with expectation being a second round. It does come with expectation. You can't just be a guy sitting on the bench for 3 years.
I mean, look at the way that Trey Amos has come in as a second round pick. It's almost like it's seamless. I mean, hopefully he will continue the way he's going. That's an absolute steal now. Or on most boards, he was a first rounder by most of things. But
there was some fakery about his back or something, wasn't there? That's the reason why he's not.
I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, because he's been playing fine, hasn't he? In pre-season, it's been like no back injury or anything. So a bit of a weird one. But yeah, I'm happy we've got him. He's a good player.
So what's your areas of concern then?
Well, centre's obviously one. You know, Biadish very rarely plays a full season. He'll play hurt, don't get me wrong, but there's always games that he misses because he physically can't go. You know, so that's one. Dieter's god awful, and then we had Julius Bad Jones playing. So these guys aren't cutting it. You know what I mean? Like, and we knew Dieter didn't cut it last season. We said he shouldn't have been re-signed, really. And he was re-signed, okay. But we are weak there for sure. That if Biadish goes down or is out hurt even for a few plays, the level's going to be massively dropped. So JD better start running. And then what have you got there? I'd say the receiver core if Terry's not available. I'd say that worries me. Just because I mentioned last time about the knock-on effect of everyone stepping up to a higher position, receiver position, when he shouldn't be there. Just bad matchups throughout the whole games. You might get 1 or 2 plays, you might get open or whatever, but consistently you won't. It just is. So for me, it's I'd be concerned if Terry went down or he doesn't play. You know, I'll be worried about receivers then. Who else? That's what I'm worried about. Potentially linebacker. You know, you've got 2 out starters, and after that, you're a bit like, who's that? How good's he? How good's that guy? You know, Madrano, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know you're going to get.
We talked about Craig Kraft.
Yeah, Craig Kraft, Exactly,
Craig Kraft, wide receiver 6, let's go.
Yeah. Terrified that dude, he's that good.
I mean, let's be honest. To back your point up, what did Michael Gallup and KJ Osborne bring to the table? Absolutely nothing.
Drops,
nothing.
Gallup did. there's a couple of plays. Gallup didn't even actually run properly. He just kind of went through the motions, and the ball was aimed for him. You know, the ball was thrown towards him, and he was nowhere to be seen. It was like, well, this. No, you're there. These are the guys on the edge. Like, you're gonna give it everything on that field at that point. So it's kind of like, come on. Let's show some fucking guys who can actually step up for us. And these guys who have experience in the league. Gallup was $100 million $100 million player before his ACL. No, he had a $100 million contract with Dallas before he blew his ACL. 3-4 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, and this guy's nothing. He's nowhere near. He's not it. So wide receiver worries me if say Terry's not available. Backers, as in depth, and
Centre.
There'd be three main ones really. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'd agree with you. What's going on at the guard position? Who's going where, when, how?
Though, we kind of know.
We have got plenty of guards, but it's worrying to see injuries to Coleman, them sort of people, and you're like, who's slotting where? Obviously, we had the retiree, and it's like, and then it's like, is Foster Sorrell going to give you anything? Where's Trent Scott going?
Your mate Allegretti's still available.
Allegretti's at right guard at the minute. I've got no clue what's going on there.
It's true.
So it's a little bit. I think that's the problem. I think we're still in this position because of the previous regime that it's still going to probably take another year, 2 years to get to a level of comfortable where you're comfortable with depth, and you can say yes, we have these players, we have them on depth, we've got good players who are sitting here, like we explained earlier with corner. You're looking at that now and you're saying you've got bona fide starters who are fourth and fifth string corners. That's kind of where you want to be, ideally. I look at the Eagles roster and I hate to mention them, and I think there's a lot of them who in the depth pieces who could always start. But you think, no. I've seen some random question. Deluxe says I've seen some that want OBJ but think Gallup is a waste of time due to injury. Does that make sense? No, it does not.
No, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. And you know what they say on the other podcast that I'm on with Jesse and John and Max is fans are stupid, and we're no different. We all have an opinion. That's it. You know what I mean? That is it. Everyone's got an opinion.
That's why we're here and not playing or being part of the actual management team at the team, so just kind of like, I think you kind of lost your trail of thought because you brought up the question, but what was so much before that one?
We're just talking about depth and where we are with depth behind. We were talking about the previous regime has meant that because of that's been in a salary cap construction, building the roster, we've ended up with 1 year deals for a lot of people, which isn't good, is it?
It's gone, but it probably wasn't worth mentioning.
Nah, there you go. Yeah, it's gone out there. It's gone. Podcasting at its finest here, Jet. We are doing it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Tim Towner's. Exactly. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Tim Towner. He's got about 400 questions for us, which is brilliant. So shout out to Tim. He said, this is a weird random one. He said, sell or buy. So you've got two options here. Trevor Lawrence and Tua.
And you have to buy one of them or you can sell both.
You tell me.
I'd sell both.
Yeah, you wouldn't have either. Yeah, I'm the same. We wouldn't have either of that. Nah, not for me. Not for me. Trash. But yeah.
Trash. I mean, I'd say Lawrence is above average, I'd say. That's about it. I mean,
Tua's above average if he's healthy. I mean, he's a great quarterback when he's healthy.
Isn't he? As Jesse mentioned, he's a walking concussion. Do you know what I mean? It's grim. It's grim because he is a talented thrower. He's just not available every game because he tries to do too much. He takes hits when he knows that his head can't take the hits, and he still does it anyway. There's one thing being brave, and then there's one thing being stupid. And the thing is, though, Tua is stupid, unfortunately, and he's probably going to end up with CTE. How many concussions this guy's had in his career?
Yeah, it's wild.
No, especially because he had loads in college as well. People forget about that. He's had loads in college as well. So it's man. I'm worried for his head, his brain, actually, more than anything else.
It isn't good, is it? His next question, he said he stole this one from Stan Digg and Nicky. He said, is it a big deal? He said, is it a big deal, little deal, or no deal that we have the oldest team in the league? It makes no difference to me whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. It makes no difference to me either because it's one of them. It's
sorry.
It's one of them where. Yeah, all right. No, Jesse, no. Yeah. I think that's how you get me. You know, you bring things up while I'm trying to think. And then
I know. I'm sorry. I'm
you
sorry.
that's twice now you've done that. I'm gonna slap you in a minute. Three strikes and you're out, bro. Um, yeah.
Oh shit.
So let's answer Jesse's
Tua.
bit.
We're talking about Tua. We're talking about Tua's brain, weren't we?
No, you went on to the next question.
I think Jags will be better this year. De'Ami Brown will score 13 touchdowns. I don't think they will. So the question is the question was from Stan Dig and Nicky was: is it a big deal, a little deal, or no deal that we have the oldest team in the league?
No, it's a no. It doesn't bother me. It's no deal because we are in win now mode. We have to be with Jaden's contract. We have to be in the next 3 years. We have to be challenging. If we want to get a bowl, this is the best time for us to do it. You know, the Chiefs aren't as. I don't think they're going to be as good. Going forward, I think they're losing their dynasty a little bit. Mahomes getting a bit older, etc. I just don't think they're going to be as good. So Eagles are still the biggest threat, I think. You know, which is a nightmare because they're in that goddamn division. But yeah, for me, it doesn't bother me the ages.
I'm exactly the same. You wouldn't bring Von Miller in who's chasing a ring. You know what I mean? To bring your age gap down, would you? Do you know what I mean? And, what's the average age of this team? No. I don't care about that. I really don't care about
29,
that.
30 now, is it? Something like that?
Yeah, it's the oldest team in the league, yeah. But it is what it is. Next question from Tim then. He says, with the recent tryouts and signings on the defensive side of the ball at linebacker and corner, is it a sign that AP has had a bad off-season? Because apparently the coaches don't think too much of the depth talent that was brought in.
Well, it's a valid point, Tim. It's a valid point. End of the day, so I say Hampton got cut after 1 year, and they believed in him then. They believed in him then. No, otherwise he wouldn't have picked him in the first place. So there's definitely something not quite right with some of the recruitment at the moment. That's why we're going for these true vets. A lot of our rookies aren't really producing. Yes, Mikey was a home run hit. I knew that before. Anyway, he's that damn good, but these are the rookies. You look at it from on the defensive side. They haven't really produced, have they? The ones that we have done it with CP from last year and this year.
We mentioned it. McGee not available.
They're not available. Owens again not available. Sometimes he was hurt, and then other times he's special.
Special teams, yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got who's the other ones? They know the defensive players who were playing games who were rookies last year for us.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, so either a case of we'll just do a lot more offense on the picks, potentially, probably was, but still, that's not a very. Hang on,
and Tyler Owens was an undrafted free agent as well. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even as if we drafted him. So, I mean, you had Hampton who's been cut. You had McGee who's injured continually. Who else did we pick last year? Obviously Mikey, which we said home run hit.
Home run hit, and
then you've Sinnott, McCaffrey, Johnny Newton.
Johnny Newton. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Johnny Newton. Yes. So again, he should have been a first round pick that dropped because of a foot injury. So we expect to get the best out of him this year. So I think we will. I think he's showing good signs.
So Scott G says no. Many of the changes are because of with injuries. I agree with that. Completely understand that. And then Jesse's put a very good point in here as well. He said we need to chill on AP. Shake my head. This roster was a shambles. This was a long-term build to get the right roster. Yeah, that's it. And that is the thing. I mean, JD5 came in, as we all know, and he took us to the championship game, which is just mental when you think about it. But that is year one of a rebuild. Year one. So technically, we're in year two of a rebuild. You know what I mean? That potentially should be 3 years.
I think that's the reason why AP's gone so heavy on the very experienced vets. On 1 year deals because his rebuild has coincided with actually getting the golden goose of JD. It's like, oh shit! So everything's got.
I've got to speed this up.
I've got to do it now. I can't afford to, just rely on rookies and do 3 or 4 years before they hit the peak. You can't do that. They got to do it right now. And so I understand why he's done what he's done. Does that make sense? In free agency. But the only slight concern is the guys that haven't really done a lot from the rookie side of things. That's the only thing. But I understand as well. Not all these guys are going to play because you got these vets there. So I get that as well. So there's going to be elements of either or. But it's kind of the defense picks besides Mikey Gaff. All right, let's face it.
And Newton,
them too. And then you've got offense. Okay, there's a lot more talent on that side of the ball that we've drafted. But still, it's of course it needs to be addressed. But the thing is, though, we can't, as Jesse mentioned, we can't fix everything at once. I get it. And the thing is, though, is that you want to see, as you mentioned with a few weeks back about the coaches, there's a succession plan.
Yeah.
If he goes, this guy's going to step up because he's ready. Yeah. But we haven't got that on our team in any position, really, being honest. So
maybe corner.
Potentially. But it's one of them. It's kind of like, where do we go? Where do you go from here? Because obviously we've got to start and win now still, but we're not going to load up on like 3 or 4 year deal contracts on these guys. We're going to try and get 1 year vets probably every year. We're probably going to try and do it while JD's on his low contract. And as soon as he hits a big contract, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, it's over then. So then it's all about the draft and trying to get it cheap for everywhere else.
Just keep yourself in that window.
To keep yourself potentially going. So it's tactical change, but at the moment it is one of them things, man. It's kind of a, I understand what AP's trying to do, and I understand that he's had to expedite the rebuild because JD's just the way how good he was first season. So.
Agreed. I'll just address Deluxe's question here. He said, being out of the loop, but believe Bill hasn't practiced due to injury. Are you concerned? Running backs face a lot of contact.
He had a shoulder problem, didn't he?
Shoulder problem, but he practiced in full today. No issues.
Well,
so
just because he practiced in full doesn't mean that he's still not sore. You know what I mean? So.
No, I get that. But if you were taking your first hits of contact, you might have jarred it. Could have been anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's the problem you get as well. It's, do these guys get truly enough conditioning? Because Deluxe mentions it there. RBs face a lot of contact in the NFL, but in training, you don't really do a lot of contact.
Not allowed to, though, through the CBA.
Yeah, but there's obviously certain practice where you can do full pads and you can do those things. But it's one of those. It's like, how do you get conditioned to take these hits if you don't get hit?
It's tough, isn't it? Yeah, you do it. You would normally do it in training. Yeah,
it can't be done. It can't be done. You can't, no matter how strong you get or how physical you get or how flexible and muscular. You're still going to be, until you take the hits, your body's not going to get accustomed to it.
Yeah.
And I understand you don't want to obviously ruin your players before they start the season. I get that as well. But it's a case of like, there's got to be a finer or better balance than what they're doing at the moment, because as soon as you get these games, they're all going down like flies. They're all getting hurt straight away.
How many injuries did we have in pre-season 1 that were really bad injuries as well?
Yes, and look at the Niang as well, blew his ACL out. Now again, that could happen to anybody. Non-contact's always the worst type, aren't they? But it's kind of like, there has to be a better balance where they can prepare guys to do that. Prepare them to get hit. So when it comes to the game day, when you get hit once or twice, they're not going to be injured. See what I mean?
Padded practices,
or now padded, or now kind of feeling now suffering because they can't take any hits in for 6 months or whatever it is, because they don't play. If you do well, you're playing into end of January, early Feb. If you're doing really well in the division, if you're doing really well, and then there's nothing then till now. So you're looking at like 4, 5, 6 months without even getting any contact.
Yeah,
it's a long time. It's a long time when you think, oh yeah, well they got to heal up, but you got to rest up, and I get that for the first couple of months. But then you should be getting increase of contact to be peak performance week 1. That's what you should be, so you can hit the ground running, flying.
That's like pre-season, isn't it? You just described rugby pre-season.
That's what it should be. That's what it should be. Yeah, I mean, football nowadays, you haven't got to worry about that too much as in soccer, because all the guys just that anyway. There's very lack of contact anyway now. But
Yeah.
Years ago, you get kicked to hell in preseason games or even just in training. The big guys will lay it on you because you need to hard. Don't need to be toughen up to handle this when you come to the league because that's what's going to happen to you. And this is it. It has to be a better way of either as you mentioned, they're not allowed to, or something like that. So some of the rules have to change a little bit to help these guys as well. Because
it's the CBA.
Trying to be cruel to be kind to a certain extent. Obviously, you don't want them taking their own heads off. Every day of practice. I don't mean that either. You know what I mean? It's kind of
office linebacker style.
Yeah, exactly. Just crown the helmet and you grid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean none of that. It's just a case of actually being able to handle contact at a reasonable pace.
Yeah.
And you do it graded. You know what I mean? Like these pros know to hit your full power or to hit your half power or to hit your or just touch it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you say 20% tackle there, and that's what you would do. These guys know how to do that. So that's what it should be. But it just doesn't work that way. You guys get hurt easy.
CBA that's the problem. The collective bargain agreements just moved it. So that was what was negotiated. So
now again,
and I understand that.
Protect the players. I get that, Jesse, but I think they made a rod for their own back with that. I really do. I do think that you think, it's nice because we're going to be healthy week one, and yeah. Then after week one, you're already hurt. You're already bruised up, nicked up because you're not used to being hit. You know what I mean? So after 1 week, you're already feeling it. That's not good. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to play another 15 games, whatever it is, 18 games. If you do well and be able to be available for all those games. So yeah, the players didn't help themselves with that collective bargaining agreement where they take out a lot of the contact in training. That doesn't help at all. But there should be some sort of middle ground being able to be negotiated in the next CBA, because it's not, deep down it's not helping the players because they're getting hurt like after 1 or 2 tackles straight away. Crazy.
It's mad, isn't it?
It is crazy.
Last and final question, which is again from Tim.
I just did. Just blame the players. That's what they wanted. Yeah, they wanted less contact. Less contact in training. I get it, but now they're not ready to play really ready to play week one. You know what I mean? It's not. So crazy. Which is crazy that, Jesse, to be fair, they actually wanted 0 contact. I mean, that's just dumb, that, like, to be fair. It's like having your quarterbacks, isn't it? Your quarterbacks, even in pre-season, I understand you don't touch him in training. They're the main guy. If you hurt him on a training play, then, you're probably going to get cut yourself, do you know what I mean, for being stupid and hitting your quarterback. But in general, it's kind of, you have to, you've got to find a way to actually get these guys to be able to condition themselves to take the hits. There has to be a way, otherwise they're just going to get hit. That's just how it is. It's just a fact.
Final question then from Tim is, what a difference a few weeks make? He said, we've gone from being optimistic that we're on the verge of a dynasty to being unsure if we can win a pre-season game, let alone any of our 17 regular season contests. Where do you boys stand with regards to the concerns for the upcoming season?
I mean, the massive concerns is just sloppy play, just slack play. It's the penalties for me that really pisses me off more than anything else, to be honest.
Because that can be drilled and coached out of you, or it should be.
Pre-snap, and I mean, there was a few pre-snaps. There wasn't many, but most of them were in actual play, mostly special team. But there was a few pre-snaps. Now again, that's slack. You know what I mean? It's sloppy play. You're not being focused. That's what pisses me off, and that's where it comes with the coaches as well. They should be getting you focused. Of course, you should also have your own motivation, especially if you're a guy who's on the bubble, or one of these guys who are just trying to make the team. It's kind of, it shouldn't have to be said. Do you know what I mean? Solid fundamentals. We always talk about it, as in, like, the coaches always talk about fundamentals and being solid on, solid fundamentals, solid foundations. There wasn't any. That's what worries me more than actually getting smoked 48, because, as I say before, the result doesn't matter in pre-season. But it's just that's the thing that pisses me off. But what about yourself?
Yeah, I agree. It's about fundamentals. It's about switching on. It's about understanding. It shows the lack, if you like, of clear coaching because they're not understanding the playbook. Now, again, we're talking about third stringers, fourth stringers going up against first stringers, but you should be able to have someone who can diagnose the play and understand the playbook as well.
And
it's basics, isn't
it? And being smart enough to actually, or savvy enough to not be caught on penalties all the time.
Yeah.
So these guys have played ball the whole life. They just know when to hold, when to let go when the referee's looking. There's all these little nuances to it. And they know them all, and yet we got caught big time. Like that's just slack throughout the whole team. And that's it. I blame the coaches as well as the players on that, not just players. So,
agreed.
But also worries me that our depth is crap. Like it does show a lot that our depth isn't good at all. So that also worries me.
Agreed. Well, we'll look forward to Monday night. I will not be watching this game. I'm at work on Tuesday, so I ain't staying up to watch this. No chance.
Yeah, watch Burrow put a 60-yard bomb over us straight away, first play.
Night. Yeah. What time is actually kickoff? Is it?
Probably about 12 again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about. I think so. Something stupid like that. I mean, yeah. I'll watch it while I'm having my breakfast, I think, Tuesday morning. That'll do me.
Yeah. No, you'll see the results and you'll be like, nah, it's all right, I'll miss that. I haven't watched the highlights because there isn't any highlights, no lowlights.
So, I'm not for a pre-season game, Jesse. For the game, week 2, I'm off, but not for a Monday night game.
I'd love to see Jesse do just one game like we do at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Stay here. Don't go home. Don't come back on the plane with us and do week 2, Jesse.
Yeah, just
stay up all night on Thursday.
Thursday night, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So stay up until the 1 o'clock start of a game, and push through to 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, like we do. Yeah. Let's see.
It isn't easy. I feel sorry for James, who's hours ahead again. It's like, oh no. Or the Australian fans who are watching the following lunchtime.
Oh, they get a great man. Yeah, well, for them it's Monday at 11 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, I know, it's mad. It's absolutely
okay. It might be at work, might be a problem to try and watch it, but the timing there's not actually that.
No,
we've seen this here, mate. Just out on my phone here that Brandon Scherf just decided to retire.
Oh, has he? Oh well, yeah. Wow, great player, and I wish him all the best in retirement. Even though he left and went to Jacksonville, you know what I mean. It's it is what it is, but he'll always be right up there, as a player.
Because I think Moses got treated poorly by the organisation at the time, and
they're big mates, weren't they?
Yeah, they were big mates, and he was like, "Nah, I don't be a shit." So, are you buying? I'm flying.
Fair enough. Scott G says done it and it sucks. Yeah, it does. You're right, mate. Cheers. I appreciate you for saying that. It is hard, man. It's really hard, but sometimes looking.
It's painful for us this year because we're going to be on.
It's because we're always on prime time, and it's like shit, man. He said guard exactly, Jesse. When you're on prime time, it's like wow, Oh, not another one. Oh no, God. But weirdly, all my leave at work is booked off around what we're doing, so it is what it is. I think Gallup will stay, says Rod.
That's outrageous, that shout, Rod. I mean, Gallup will stay. Not on that performance that I saw last week. I mean, if he's a lot better than me, people. He sucked.
He did. He wasn't good. He was not good. Well, that just about does us anyway. Enjoy the game on Monday. Scouts will be back on Thursday, mate, as always, to review the Bengals game. And thank you for being with me. Thanks, everybody, for being in the chat. We appreciate you all putting questions in and being in the chat with us. It's great to have this little community. Don't forget to press the like button, subscribe, and obviously tell everybody where we are. We'd really appreciate it. And, thanks, everybody.
Bye.